Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about how I closed out the DGLY trade. I closed it out this morning and I ended up investing in something else. So after that video yesterday, I pretty much decided that I was going to roll out the June calls to the July month and go with a higher strike. But when I woke up this morning, I basically decided that I'm just going to take the profits. I can always open a new trade with a July strike once the June date passes. I just didn't have the trust right now that the stock is going to be able to maintain its high level. So in the end, I decided to close out the position. So this is how I ended up. And now instead of talking about per share profits, I'll talk about the overall. So I had $952 at risk. I ended up buying a couple of different times that I bought covered calls. I bought a stock and covered a call, another stock and covered call. So $952 eventually invested. And I ended up cashing out this morning for a total of $678 net profits after deducting my investment. So that was a 9-day trade and I made 71% on that. Now, to be completely transparent, the stock did, DGLY almost tripled. Now, it pulled back a little bit today, but at the time I was doing the presentation yesterday, it had tripled. And so my profits basically came off of the rapid rise of the stock. I ended up having to purchase the calls back at a loss, but I don't mind this. I went into the trade as a covered call, hoping that the stock wasn't going to reach its strike price, and when it reached it, that was the max profit of my trade, as I talked about yesterday. So that's the situation. Yes, it would have been better if I just bought the stock. If I had 20/20 vision and I knew the stock was going to triple, might have been a better trade just to buy the stock. But in the end, like I said, 71% profit in 9 days time. That's not so bad. So I'm going to roll this trade. Basically, I've sold it off, I've taken the cash, and I decided today to get into IVR. IVR is Invesco Mortgage Company. And so I ended up buying a couple hundred shares of IVR. I'm going to talk about it at the single stock things for simplicity's sake. So I paid $4.95 and a half. I don't know how the stock prices trade in these halves, but I paid $4.95.5 for my shares. And so if I'd bought 100 shares, that would be equivalent to $495. And then I knew the stock, like I was looking at the single day chart, and I had this feeling like it was just pulling back for a dip and it was going to go back up. So it was high, it came down, but I kind of knew it was going to go back up. So I ended up waiting for a little bit. So from the 495 point, I waited until the stock had gotten up to 520 something. And then I sold a call on it. So I waited for some of that value to come back in. I was able to get more money on my call. So I bought it at $4.95. Instead of selling a $5 call, I sold a $6 call. Tried to get 70 cents for it, but I ended up with 65. I had to accept a little bit less. So here's the trade. I paid $4.95 for it, but I collected $65 in premium. That means my investment is $430. If the stock does get to the $6 range, I'll keep my premium. I will also get the $104, which is the difference between the $6 strike and the $495.5 that I paid. So that's $169 potential profit and $430 at risk. And that is a potential of a 39% ROI to the June 19th strike, to the June 19th expiry. So my expectation, I'm going to go into this saying, I don't think IVR is going to hit $6 or trade at $6 for June 19th. So my expectation is that this is more of a typical covered call where the call is going to expire worthless. I'm going to keep that $65. And because I did buy at $4.95 and I keep the $65, my break even is $4.30. And so I do believe the stock will remain above $4.30. So I'm setting my expectation. The stock will be above 430, but not $6 in the next 9 days. To note, there is earnings coming, but this is after options expiry. So at the end of options expiry, I might close out the trade, take whatever profits there. If it's, five something, and I can book a couple $100 profits on that, would be fine. So I'm not sure I'm going to hold this through earnings because it's a mortgage company and it probably has terrible earnings. Anyways, so I'm into IVR, and we're going to hold on to that for another week or so and then see how that goes. Anyways, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'll do these types of updates. I'm doing covered calls right now. I do want to get into option spreads and calendar spreads and things like that, but we're starting off here. Thanks a lot.